Hello, everybody. Welcome to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. And ladies and gentlemen, we are here this evening with our rogue physicist, who is now in the United States of America. Doctor, how are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you, Scott. And how are you?
I'm doing very, very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just wanted to make an announcement on our live stream this evening to let everyone know that the doctor has made her trip to the United States. And it was one hell of a trip. Doctor, how long did it take you from the point you left South Africa?
It took me 36 hours, Scott. It was a very long trip.
36 hours.
Yes. And it's very boring sitting on a plane for all those hours. You look at your watch and then you sleep a little bit, and then 20 minutes later you look at it again. So it seemed like a really long trip. Yes.
Well, I can say this much. I know all of us, we are very, very glad to have you here in America. And ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
This was something that, we were trying to plan for the doctor. So, we had so many issues with time differences and trying to work together, with all of our Planet X investigations. And after the issue with the university where the doctor was employed for 17 years, and, a lot of you, if you don't know exactly what happened, we'll briefly just go over this. But the doctor was starting to do some observations of what she was seeing in the skies there in South Africa. She knew what she was seeing was not right. And she started to make more observations and then started to investigate. But just to make a long story short, after several months of her investigations and trying to coordinate with some other Planet X investigators, a gentleman, I even hate to use that word because he's really not, but another YouTube channel creator, Astronomy Live, took it upon himself to send a very long, lengthy, false email to the chancellor or the head of the university trying to defame the doctor. And the university basically took a turn against her. And we're kind of thinking that they really didn't want this kind of publicity for the university. And therefore, she was basically put on leave and then forced into unofficial retirement. And then she made a decision to just basically retire from the university and further her investigations into Planet X. And that involved coming to the United States, working directly with me. And she is going to start writing a book, the first of a series of books that are going to be coming out as soon as possible. And the first book is going to be called The Beginning. And that's basically what it was. It was the beginning of her research into Planet X. So, Doctor, I don't want to go ahead and rehash the whole issue with Astronomy Live, but whenever you decided to write this book, what prompted you to think about writing a book?
Well, I think it is the best way to get the information to people. That's what I've always been interested in, and that is telling the people the truth about what's going on in the solar system. And I know we have YouTube and so on, but I think a book will reach a wider audience. And so I decided it would be the best thing. As you know, I enjoy writing. I write all these articles. And for me, writing a book will just be another step in that direction. And yes, I enjoy writing. And I'll enjoy reaching a wider audience, telling them the truth about what's going on in the solar system. Yeah.
I think that's going to be a fantastic idea. And
Mhm.
also, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as possible, we are going to start and try to organize some public speaking events for the doctor. We were talking about going on tour across the United States, doing conferences and seminars for people to actually come and meet her. And she's going to be giving a presentation on discoveries that we've all made.
Mhm.
And, it is very intriguing information, but, at the same time, these are very, very scary times here on our planet Earth. But, in all actuality, we just have to embrace all of this. We have to accept what is happening. And, I think the doctor is very, very brave to take such major steps to leave a country that she spent more than half of her life growing up in, because she's originally from Portugal and ended up in South Africa with her family, going to the university there, having a career, family, the whole 9 yards. So this was a very, very big step for her. And, I applaud her, and I'm sure all of us fully understand, the risks that she's taken. And we've already gone through, several messes already with, people trying to stop her and stop me from getting this information out to the world. But it's not going to work. We are going to continue. Now, in the weeks leading up to the doctor coming to the United States, there was a lot of planning for all of this. And a lot of it was left to me to make sure everything was set up for her properly here, where she could just basically come to the United States and start a new life from day one. And that's exactly what occurred after her very, very long trip. And that was a pretty long trip, wasn't it, Doctor? I think you flew from
Yes,
South Africa to Qatar in the
that's
Middle
right.
East, and then to New York.
Hmm.
So, how was your experience going into the Middle East, into the country of Qatar?
Um, well, there were a lot of Middle Eastern people on the plane, and they're a little bit different from the people I'm used to. Um, but I managed, and I see the security from Qatar was quite extensive. And I remember they made me box my laptop, which was strange. I'd never gone through that experience before. And yes, it was a little bit, well, I got a little bit nervous going through the security, let's say. But everything worked out just fine. Yes, so that's what happened in Qatar. And well, fortunately, I was not there for long. It was only 2 hours, but it was just the security that I thought was strange. And once on the plane, everything was back to normal. Then I had a 13-hour flight to New York, and that seemed to last forever, but it did end eventually.
Okay, what I'm just wondering is everybody able to hear us on the live stream? Just making sure everyone's not having any type of issues. So I did notice a few people were saying in the live stream that they weren't able to get onto the live stream. And, I've mentioned a couple of times, ladies and gentlemen, there are some countries that have basically banned the YouTube live streaming. Some people are able to get it overseas and some people are not. If you are not able to view the live stream, once the live stream is over, the video is processed and it will appear on the Nibiru channel and the Planet X News channel, and you could watch it whenever you want to. So in the weeks to come, folks, it took a lot of effort for myself to get an apartment set up for the doctor someplace that was safe and comfortable for her. And, over the past week, it's been a pretty trying time, setting up an apartment for someone that you've never met, not knowing their likes and their tastes and things of that nature. But what do you think, Doc? You think I did a pretty good job setting everything up for you?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Scott. It's absolutely lovely. I really love the little kitchen, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it, actually. So I think you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Now, folks, kind of on a funny note, I took the doctor to do some shopping in the early evening yesterday, and I knew she was going to need some things. And well, where does everybody go? We all go to Walmart. So,
Yes.
what did you think of your first trip to an American Walmart?
Very strange. Well, they do have everything. I could tell that. But the people there were somewhat strange, let's put it that way. And they dressed in strange ways that I've never seen before. But I guess this is a new country for me, and I have to get used to that.
Well, I can guarantee you that in the weeks and the months to come, you will definitely see some strange things occurring in the local Walmarts. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to give myself and the doctor a better opportunity to work together a lot more, because dealing with a 6-hour time difference and the crazy hours that I have, this was just a really good idea for the both of us. And, I think it was the right thing to do, knowing that there was almost nothing left for her in South Africa, working at the university for 17 years, that's pretty close to half of a lifetime. Most people retire after 20 years, and, she wanted to teach and lecture for another 10 years.
Yes.
That was taken from her. So now she's going to take her education, her experience, and her skills, and she is going to continue to lecture, but in a different way and to a different audience. And, it's going to give me and her a stronger opportunity to work together on a daily basis. So we are going to be getting together a couple of times during the day, and we're going to be making observations on what's happening around the world. And this is going to give us and all of you a better opportunity to receive this information from the both of us. I'm going to be digging up the information, and, the doctor is going to be giving her observations and scientific observations on what is exactly occurring. Because I'm going to be quite frank with all of you. We were just making some observations 30 minutes before this broadcast. And folks, we're looking at some very dangerous times coming up on July 2nd, halfway through the day, into the 4th of July holiday, the biggest holiday in the United States, Independence Day. I mean, we have a stream of solar energy coming from the sun that's going to be impacting Earth on or about late July 2nd through July 3rd and 4th. And then there's another small stream coming behind it, which may impact around July 5th. and the density level. Doctor, you want to, you were making these observations 30 minutes ago. Can you
Yes.
explain to everyone about the density level of what you saw?
Yes, I mean the density is, it's quite a spike. It goes from low to extremely high in a very small amount of time, and I mean extreme. It's quite a spike. It's almost a vertical rise. So the magnetosphere is going to be under extreme pressure at that time. And of course, we can expect to have the usual effects on the magnetosphere and then on the Earth, which would be earthquakes and volcanic activity and things like that. So I think we already seeing a lot more earthquakes than usual. And at the moment, the magnetosphere is not under huge impact. So I think it will increase the earthquake activity at that time. So I think we can expect more and stronger earthquakes.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because we were going to do a video about this, but now that we have everyone's attention, we're going to go ahead and go over this information. And what we're looking at is the solar wind predicting model. And so we make sure everybody can see this. Okay, we do have it up on the screen. So, Doc, if you want to go ahead and go over this, this is definitely looking very, very intense.
Yeah, as you can see, the top graph, Earth, gives you the plasma density. And as you move through the second, there's that sudden spike. And that's a huge spike. That's a huge increase in plasma density. And you can see on the diagram on the left how it goes white. That means extremely high density. And usually it only goes white after it has passed the Earth. But now the Earth is directly impacted by that plasma density. And yeah, it's going to have a huge impact on the magnetosphere, because as you know, we are getting more than one stellar wind. We are getting the normal one from the sun, and we are getting others from other stars. So the magnetosphere is under pressure from different directions. So when something like this from the sun impacts it, it greatly increases the effects. That is why the number of earthquakes has been increasing and is now quite serious. So we can expect it to get worse. That's all.
Yeah, this stream that is coming from the sun on it's kind of actually between the second and third. And remember, folks, this is a prediction model. So, it could be off a few hours. I haven't seen it, ever off, more than, 6, 7, 8 hours.
Yes.
But we're definitely going to receive this impact. And, the earthquake activity, it's not stopped. It's actually picked up. And the magnitude of these earthquakes has absolutely picked up. And, something that we've been reporting on and Dutch Sense has been reporting on is the depth of some of these earthquakes in the South Pacific. These depths over 600 kilometers deep.
Yeah.
I mean, that is very, very deep into the earth. And these depths of these earthquakes, well, that's gonna rain right across the Pacific, impacting South America, Central America, and the west coast of the United States.
Yeah.
We even saw a kind of a weird scenario today in upstate New York. They had an earthquake. I mean, upstate New York. And then there were several earthquakes out in the ocean between northern Scotland and Norway. very rare to see these earthquakes, but they are occurring.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're going to see more and more and more of this activity as we go through the summer. And we're going to continue to report on all of this. But, you know, what is kind of, well, what's the word I want to use? What's kind of scary in the sense that, you know, we're not really looking at large coronal holes in the sun that would actually be causing this very heavy plasma density to be coming towards the Earth.
Yeah, I think this is actually a CME, Scott. So yeah, it's not fast solar wind.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah, this is a CME, and it's in the so usually you see a CME just being released and it travels towards the sun, but this is the end point of high density area. So yeah, so that's why I think it's so high, that density. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's actually kind of scary to, you know, to be watching this on this predictor model. And you know, I was watching it, well, many days ago, and I believe it was last week. I was warning everybody because I saw the beginning stages of this, and you know, I was warning everyone that going into July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a time that you're going to have, you know, or excuse me, you're going to have to heed caution on this. Most definitely. I took a lot of criticism on it. People saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, the fact of the matter is I do know what I'm talking about, and I've been doing this long enough, and I do understand all of this. You know, and me and the doctor, we have many conversations throughout my late night, early morning, and her afternoon and early evening when she was in South Africa. So you can see bringing her to the United States was the best thing that we could do. Now, this puts both of us in the same time zone, and now we can dedicate a lot more time to all of the observations and the investigations into what is happening. That's going to be really nice. You know, not having to be up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning to begin these discussions on what's happening. But this is definitely, you know, this stream that's coming towards the United States now, this plasma density is, it's up there. I mean, you guys can see this, what's happening right now, you know, and we're only, what, 2 days away. You know, today's the last day of June, and we're going to be getting into this probably halfway through July 2nd. So you've been in the United States now for 24 hours. You really haven't seen much, but everything's going okay with you so far. You just need to get you need to get some more sleep, though. That's definitely
I am still quite tired. My body's a little confused about when I should sleep, because when it wants to sleep, it's daylight here. So I'm feeling the effects of that. But I think it's getting better. I had a long nap this afternoon, and after that, I felt much better. Yeah, but it's lovely. What I have seen is quite lovely. In South Africa, you know, all the houses have these high walls around them because crime is quite high in South Africa. But here, I see the houses don't have walls, and it feels much safer, quieter. So yes, I'm enjoying it, Scott. I've enjoyed what I have seen.
Yeah, well, you know, whenever you get a chance, you know, definitely get you out there to do some sightseeing around the area, and The United States, as they say, the land of the free, the land of opportunity. Hey, listen, my great grandparents on both sides of my family, they came to the United States from Italy as immigrants, and both sides, mother and father, their families were part of building this nation, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And you having the opportunity now to come to the United States for the first time, I truly wish that it was under different circumstances for you, more enjoyable. But I was thinking a lot today about your trip and your arrival here, and understanding that you're here to help other people. You gave up a lot to make a big step, in coming to the United States and doing what you're doing. I mean, that's
Yes. Yes, Scott, it was a big step for me. I was, the university was not welcoming ideas and my work. And I know that people out there like me are looking up at the sky and seeing strange things. And I think a lot of them may be looking for answers. What is going on? And I had those questions as well when I started investigating. And I would like to help people understand what is going on. And as you know, I'm a believer in God, and I believe that people need God, and that's why I usually end my live streams in the way I do. But so I'd like to give people understanding and hope, rather than just being afraid. And I've decided that's what I am supposed to do at this time in my life. So in a way, what has happened at the university, although very difficult, and I had to take a step, I had to decide what I wanted to do with my life. And I think I've made the right decision, and you have helped me a lot. Thank you very much, Scott. And that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Well, it is definitely, my pleasure to be of help to you. I mean, as I say to everyone, we're all in this together. There's just no doubt about it. Once again, I do want to give a big shout out to everyone, all of the subscribers and the viewers of both channels, the Planet X News channel and the Nibiru channel. You guys are fantastic, and we're all team members. And that is an amazing thing, because without all of the observations being conducted around the world, the pictures, the video, you as viewers letting me know what is happening around the world, mainstream media not reporting on a lot of these things, but these are very critical issues that we need to get out there, and we need to connect the dots. So my hat's off to each and every one of you. And, once again, I have 3 fantastic moderators in, Heidi down there in Australia, Dark Angel, and Miss Rose. I love you guys to death. I thank you very, very much for helping moderate. And it's a shame that we do have to go to those extents, because, there are just these factions that they don't want this information getting out there. But, it's like that old song goes, ain't no stopping us now. And that's basically it. So, within the next couple of days, the doctor is going to be getting adjusted and getting caught up on the time zone issue. And each and every day, she's going to probably crank out a few chapters of this first book. And, if you're all wondering, how's it going to be possible for somebody to publish a book that fast? Well, it's 2017. Technology is there, and Amazon Publishing is where it's at. So as soon as she is finished with it, it will be published directly through the Amazon Publishing. Now, you don't need these big New York City or Los Angeles publishers that waste all your time and take all your money. So whenever the book is published and whatever online sales come from the ebook, we're going to be moving a lot of that funding towards creating the public appearances for the doctor. And, we see this with a lot of other investigators, David Wilcock, Stephen Greer, all of these guys, they all do their public speaking, and they have fantastic forums for people to come to and actually get to meet the individual. And we think that that's going to be a fantastic endeavor for all of you to join in with us, because again, we're all in this together. This isn't like UFO research. Okay. What's happening to our planet involves each and every one of us, not just a few, not just one country. It involves the entire planet. Something that really came to light the other day was this report about this massive asteroid that was supposed to be coming by Earth at a distance of only 20,000 miles from the surface of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Apophis.
Yes.
And it is a massive, massive asteroid.
Yes.
Okay. And they're saying in about 12 years, this object's going to be making this pass. Folks, that's a cataclysmic event.
Mm-hmm.
And, what really gets me is these scientists, they don't speak up. They say one thing and really another thing is about to happen. And, they try to get the information out there, but, they kind of give you little bits and pieces of it. Well, the fact of the matter is, if an asteroid that big comes by the Earth at a distance of only 20,000 miles above the Earth's surface, anything can happen at that point in time. The Earth's gravitational force could possibly suck that asteroid right in.
Yes.
And we're dealing with 12 years from now. Okay. And again, 12 years from now, okay, whatever. But we need to know what is happening today, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in a few weeks from now. All of this futuristic stuff, hey, that's all good. But we really need to know what is occurring today, what's going to happen tomorrow. The very, very, very near future. And I do think that sometimes there's a lot of, kind of misdirection, disinformation, misinformation put out there for you to get your attention drawn in another direction. And I think that's happening quite a bit. I don't know. What do you think, Doctor? You think this is, think this is possible?
I know it is happening, Scott. I think that people are putting out information, trying to draw the attention of the people who are noticing what's happening in the solar system. But that information may be misdirected so that people don't get the answers they are really seeking. Instead, they go back to sleep thinking, oh, it's okay. Whatever's happening is not really here. It's not going to cause any problems. And I can just go on with my life rather than getting the real answers. What is really happening? And what is happening is we have brown dwarf stars in the inner solar system. A lot of people have seen the evidence that I have been writing about and you have been talking about as well. And they do not accept it, or they will not talk about it. We already know about the astronomers, and I think a lot of them know what is going on, and they just refuse to speak about it or let anybody outside their own astronomy group know about what's going on. And as you know, my own colleague said to me when I spoke to him about this, it's okay to speak amongst us, but we cannot let, the people out there know about this. This is not what we do. We don't do that kind of thing. So this is what astronomers do. They will talk amongst themselves, but they will not let the public know. And I think there may be other people who may have YouTube channels and are giving information that is just a little bit of an explanation, maybe a few pictures, and people look at it and say, oh yeah, maybe, maybe not. But there are no real explanations, no real digging into the truth of what's really going on in the inner solar system. And this is what I have been doing. This is what I'd like to continue to do. I'd like to understand what is going on in the inner solar system. And it gives so much information. It's a whole new research. It opens up the whole of physics, because through this research, I found out that a lot of the laws of the universe that I've learned and believed were right are not actually right. So these brown dwarf stars have given us an opportunity to actually understand the universe. And for me, that's quite fascinating, even though the effects, of course, on the Earth are quite dangerous.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. There's no doubt about that. The effects of these objects on the sun and the effects of the sun on our Earth, it's like a major chain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, with anything, that chain reaction is devastating.
Yes,
Devastating.
it is.
And it does, I mean, the thoughts of all of this each and every day, it does creep up on me, from time to time. And I think to myself, wow, I can't believe I'm living through this. I can't believe that I'm looking up into the sky and I'm watching the sun set west northwest. I mean, I watched it tonight. I actually took 40 minutes of video, because I actually had some, a good view tonight, and gauging where the sun was, it was setting west northwest. And possibly even further north. And you were able to see the same thing yourself with your own eyes today.
Yes, I did notice that. And the only way we can get that is if the Earth has wobbled in that direction. It has wobbled north, and that means that this position, the position where you are on the Earth, is further south than it should be. And that would give you higher temperatures, of course, because now that position is closer to the equator. So yeah, so that may be why the temperatures, well, the temperatures actually change up and down, because I think the Earth has wobbled wobbles north and then wobbles south again, and I believe that's probably what's causing these fluctuations in the temperatures. But yes, definitely the sun was not where I think it's supposed to be.
Now, I want you to tell everybody what you saw in the sky last night, late last night. You were starting to make some observations, even, just hours after getting here. And you tell me, did you see some strange occurrences popping in the sky last night.
Yes, it looked like a high altitude lightning. And to me, that lightning is, of course, plasma discharges. So I would say we were getting plasma discharges in the upper atmosphere. And what would lead to that? Well, it would be particles from the sun or from these other stellar objects that are close to the Earth. The particle stream impacting the atmosphere, going to the ionosphere and electrifying it and electrifying the atmosphere. They possibly getting into the upper atmosphere below the ionosphere, and it's causing discharges, plasma discharges in the upper atmosphere. It was quite interesting to see, but it's another sign of what is going on, that we have several brown dwarf stars. They have stellar wind of their own. The Earth's magnetosphere is getting impacted by large amounts of particles, extremely high density, because it's not just the sun. These particles are not just coming from the sun, they're coming from these other objects. So that's why we're seeing such high densities at the bow shock. And these particles are managing to get in because the magnetosphere now and then folds up. And well, they do get in anyway, usually through magnetic reconnections. But at the moment, I'm seeing now and then openings that allow these particles to come directly towards Earth from the front of the magnetosphere. And that, of course, will increase the particles coming in, and it will electrify our atmosphere, and then it would lead to what I saw. It looked like lightning, but it wasn't in the lower atmosphere where the clouds are. It seemed to be much higher up than that. So that would be the upper atmosphere, and I've never seen that before. That was quite astounding, I must say.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that also. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, there were no clouds in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
There were no clouds in the sky. It was actually a clear night. We were making some observations of the moon and what was showing up as Saturn. And then about, I would say maybe 45 minutes later, it seemed like the moon rapidly moved from the south to the west. And then it was dead on in the westerly sky. And, I'm going to be quite frank with all of you. I saw something last night that I've never seen happen ever. And I'll just explain it. Me and the doctor were looking at the moon, and we were both in agreement that it wasn't the moon.
Mm-hmm.
It was not the moon. And I have the star map application on my cell phone. So I decided to pull it out, and I wanted to see what the planetary object was that was near the moon, and kind of at the about the 8 o'clock position. So I pulled out the little star map application on my cell phone, held it directly up to where the moon was. Had all the settings. I use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the moon did not appear on the star map. The planet Saturn appeared, but the moon did not. So I thought, okay, is this damn thing malfunctioning? What the hell's going on? So I reset everything. I held it back up to the sky. It read Saturn. That object was there.
Mm-hmm.
The other object that was looking like the moon, bright in the sky, well, it was not appearing on the sky map for some reason. And then about an hour later, when we were still making these observations, looking directly due west, I saw the moon, well, what seemed to be the moon, all of a sudden turn bright orange and then just disappear.
Wow.
Now, for all of you over the age of 40, you remember back when you were a kid and we had the old television sets, and you remember when you used to turn the TV off, how it would fade into a little dot and then disappear, and then your TV was off.
Yeah.
Well, that is what we saw in the sky last night with this object that was supposed to be the moon. It literally turned into an orange ball, and then within a few seconds faded into a little dot and then disappeared. And it was gone from the freaking sky.
Yes.
So I don't know. You know, I mean, it's crazy things like that. I don't know, Doc. What do you think about that? Because that was pretty freaky.
Yes. I mean, when I first looked at the moon, it had this kind of little light around it. And I looked at it and I thought immediately, that's not the moon. That does not look like the moon. It looks like a light bulb in the sky. And you can look at it. We have depth, and I can see it looks like it's something in the sky, not something that's out there in space. And the same thing happens with the sun. And when I looked at it, I thought immediately, no, that's not the moon. And of course, when it disappeared like that, it just went off, like you said, just like a TV.
That was, you know, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you know, after viewing whatever the hell happened, whatever the hell that was in the sky, I don't know. I mean, you know, at first it definitely looked like the moon. It was not coming up on the star map application. And, you know, I'll be quite frank with you. It looked exactly like the moon. I mean, we were watching it for hours. I know what the moon looks like. Come on, you know? Yeah. I mean, it was very bright. It was there, you know, then all of a sudden, I mean, it was moving very rapidly across the sky. And this is like over a period of an hour. Okay. So if you observe the moon for an hour and you're charting it, then you can actually see the moon moving. Okay. Now, don't misconstrue my words. We're talking over a period of time. You can chart the moon across the sky. That's what we're referring to.
Yes.
And then it just seemed to be moving very rapidly. And then Saturn was moving further away from the moon object. And then later, much later in the evening, much later, the moon should not have been exactly due west at that time. And then, with a blink of an eye, they just turned the lights out. And that's basically what it looked like. They just turned the lights out on this object, and then the moon was not there, in my view. Now, listen, I'm you know, I don't want to hear a bunch of this criticism crap. I'm talking about my view. My view. If you live in Sweden or Germany or Canada or Mexico or New Zealand, hey, maybe you saw something different. But I, myself, and the doctor made this observation ourselves for more than an hour. And, you know, we were a little confused by it.
Yeah.
I was pretty freaked out about it. I mean, I thought about it for the rest of the night, woke up very early in the morning. I was still very confused about it. I even talked to the doctor about it. I even told her that this was bothering me. This was really bothering me, what I saw happen last night. Besides all of the plasma discharges in the sky, that at first when I looked and I saw it, I thought maybe it was heat lightning. Well, it wasn't heat lightning. I've never seen heat lightning burnt orange. And I've never seen it pop across the sky. And there was absolutely no cloud cover. anywhere. You know, and I called her and I was like, hey, go look at this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she was like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And it was popping and popping across the sky, rolling across the sky from west to east, east to west. So, you know, some very, very, very strange observations last night. And we're actually going to do this again tonight, you know, and I tried to get this on film, but it was just so dark. You know, it was just so dark, the camera wouldn't pick it up. I don't have super duper expensive camera equipment, but I mean, I'm going to make another attempt to see if this happens again tonight. And hopefully if it does, I can capture it. But it was definitely weird, And I'm going to be looking, for that moon again tonight, because that is just really, really freaky deaky that the moon disappeared like that with a blink of an eye right in front of your face. I don't know, Doctor. You've never seen anything like that, have you? That was like something out of a movie.
Yeah, of course I've never seen it. The moon is not supposed to turn off. It's an object out in space. It's Earth's satellite. It's been there since anybody can remember. It's not supposed to suddenly disappear. But I have written a lot about the sun simulators, and I have believed from the beginning that they can use the same kind of technology to simulate the moon. It's just not as bright. Well, and yeah.
Well, maybe NASA didn't pay their damn electric bill last night, and all of a sudden the moon got turned off. Because I'm telling you right now, folks, you know, if you want to do this, go to your app store on your cell phone and look up SkyMap. Download the SkyMap application. It is pretty cool, and it's a good tool for all of you that want to, you know, look up into the sky and you say to yourself, oh, you know, what's that bright object, or, you know, what's that near the moon, or, you know, whatever. At least you can identify planetary objects and stars and things of that nature. It is a really, really cool tool. And it works off of the GPS in your cell phone, your smartphone. It's a free app. I think it's very, very accurate. I've never had an issue with it. But whatever the hell I pointed that SkyMap application at in the sky last night at around 10 o'clock, I mean, it was supposed to be the moon. It was bright. It was in like a semi-crescent, and it was in the I would say whenever we started to observe it, it was in the south part of the sky, rapidly moved to the southwest, and then by the time we observed it, it was directly due west, and then the power got shut off. And it disappeared. I mean, that's basically how I could put it to you. That's the best analogy. You know, it's kind of like they turned the lights, boom, right off, and it was gone.
Yes, but you know that people have been reporting that the moon has been in the wrong place for quite a while. So this just confirms it, that it cannot be the moon, because the moon cannot turn off. It's impossible. Yeah, so it was amazing, I must say, to see that kind of thing.
Yeah, it most definitely was. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we normally have a 2-hour live stream, but tonight we're going to cut this down to an hour because the doctor definitely has to get some more rest. And hopefully she gets a good night's sleep tonight, and we'll be back at this tomorrow making some more observations. And myself and the doctor, we're going to start getting together, and we're going to start looking at a lot of world events, a lot of weather events, because, you know, these weather events that are occurring around the world, this is in direct relation to what we're investigating. You know, as I've mentioned before, back in, you know, December and January and February, you know, I mentioned that we were going to be going through some very, very harsh weather situations. And lo and behold, you know, these things are happening. It's a shame the mainstream media can't get off the Donald Trump issue and report on real news that is happening around the world. So we're going to pick up the pace, and we're going to start furthering our investigations worldwide into what's happening. And we're going to try to get an earthquake report out. We're going to try to get a volcanic report out. And we're going to try to keep track of a lot of these pretty tragic weather events. And, you know, I truly believe that as we go into the month of July and we get further into the hurricane season in the Northern Hemisphere, I think things are going to get really, really bad. I mean, really bad. So we're going to try to keep on track with all of this information on a daily basis. Now, once again, if you guys are not subscribed to the Planet X News channel, get over there and get subscribed. If you're not following the Facebook page for Planet X News, there's a link in the description box. Get over there, follow it, because, you know, you can interact with myself and the doctor in the messaging on the Facebook application. You can send pictures, you can make comments, you can post photographs, and this is a great way for us to get to it immediately. Now, the doctor's been given editor access to the Planet X News Facebook page, and she'll be able to, you know, actually answer some questions on the Facebook page, and she'll be reviewing a lot of the messages and the pictures and things of that nature. Now, listen, guys, you know, she doesn't have 24 hours a day to sit there on Facebook. So, you know, just kind of be, you know, tolerable of her time, because she's also going to be writing reports on things that are going to be occurring. She's also going to be writing several chapters a day of her book. And, you know, her days are going to go probably into the 12 to 14 hours a day type of a schedule. So bear with us. You know, we have a tremendous amount of emails coming in. I'm having a very hard time keeping up with all of them. I mean, I will admit it. Right now, I'm about 7,000 or 8,000 emails behind schedule. So utilize the Planet X News Facebook page, please. Make sure you get over there, follow the page, and it makes it a little bit easier on us to interact with all of you. But I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream so we can make some observations of the moon tonight. And I'm going to see if I can get some video of this, maybe the moon turning off again. Who knows? The doctor needs to definitely get some rest, and we'll be back first thing in the morning, because we want to keep all of you in tune with what is going to occur with this huge stream coming from the sun impacting the earth between the 2nd and 3rd of July. And it's going to affect our planet for days afterwards. Any last words, doctor? Any last words?
Well, as usual, Scott, I'd like to say that, of course, the Earth is facing some dangerous times. And but this is a good opportunity to get your life in order, your spiritual life in order, to get to know, for people to get to know our Creator, and to get strength and help that they need from there.
Yes, very, very true. Very true. Getting in touch with yourself, getting in touch with your faith, getting in touch with your Creator. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you believe in, that's perfectly fine. Having some sort of faith is definitely a good idea. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us, even though this is a, you know, kind of a short live stream. But I'll tell you what, kind of get used to these short live streams, because this is going to be a really good and easy way for me and the doctor to get together very quickly on an event that is occurring somewhere on this planet that we want to get the information to you. Just because you missed the live stream, don't worry about it. The live stream automatically gets converted into a video, so you won't miss anything. Once again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. You're like family. We are all one big worldly team. Make sure you all stay tuned. Have a very, very safe holiday weekend coming up here in the United States for Independence Day. And for the rest of you around the world joining us, we love all of you. We thank you very, very much. This is Scott and our rogue physicist from Planet X News and the Nibiru channel. You have a very nice evening. Thank you for watching.